Hello and welcome back to another episode of Transport Fever 2. Last episode, we started setting up some lines to this cargo hub, and I think in this episode, I'd like to continue that, at least in some capacity. So, before we get to that, however, there are a few small things around here that I want to change / update, since there's still some small detail things that I think could really help bring this area to life. So the first thing I want to do is replace some of these, well actually all of these cranes here on these docks with some slightly different ones that I found on the workshop. And I want to do this just so it adds a little bit of variety to this area, since we have these blue default cranes that are in the base game dotted around the area. I think it'd be interesting to have a different set of cranes for the port. So we'll just come through and delete these cranes like so. And then we'll come in here, grab this one, and let's find a color that we like. I believe this one's a red. So is this one, but I think I kind of like this one a bit more. So we'll grab this, and we'll keep it at this low height, since that sort of matches what would be the height of the boats. So we'll do this, and then rotate it around so it's facing this way. And just to confirm, I think this is in line. I actually think one more click. That should be good. So let's get this placed right in the middle of each dock. And then I think I'm pretty happy with how this looks. So it adds a little bit of variety. We get a different sort of scale / size of crane over here. Unfortunately, I don't think this one's animated, but it still adds some life to the area and a bit of variety. Next, I want to do something similar over here. So I found these cranes that are built for trains, and these look really nice on the platforms. The only thing about it is, though, that it has an animation with some assets. So if we just place this down here real quick, we can see it's going to place this right on the tracks. And unfortunately, we don't have a static train here. So when the train's going back and forth, this will just be loading resources onto the tracks where there's nothing to receive it. So we're gonna have to do a few weird things with this to make it look good, but I think we can at least incorporate it on at least a little section of this larger train station. So how we're gonna make this work is, I think we're gonna have this line come in, and it looks like it's already only using this side of the platform. So we'll build a train in this terminal, and this will just be a static train that's not going to move, but it'll at least be under the cranes, and it'll look like it's being loaded or unloaded by each one. So that will essentially render this side of this platform useless, since we'll have a bunch of decoration there. But for the time being, we do have 6 empty and open platforms right now that we can still use. So let's just come through here and add a bunch of these in over here, and we'll have this set to be unloading, it looks like steel from whatever train we'll have sitting here. I think we'll add one more. Yeah, I think that will work. So now that we have all of this here, we can begin to place down these wagons that will be holding all of this. Alright, so we have all of our wagons placed down where we want them, and it looks like everything is working just fine with these cranes. So we'll just come in and finish off the train that's sitting here, and then we might add a few more cranes, just not ones that are like this, around the train station. Alright, so we have our train here, and I think this looks pretty convincing. I like how this looks. Unfortunately, again, we can't just sort of have an empty one of these assets that's just an animated crane, but this will work for now, and we at least have it on one set of our tracks here. So then what we're going to do now is come through and add some more of these cranes. So we'll replace the one we had here with this one, and this is a yellow crane, so adds a bit of variety to this area. We'll again add one over here, and we'll make sure it's in line with the other crane. So I think this is good. We'll place that there. And then we'll have one more probably over here. So right about there. And then we might get 2 or 3 different sized ones sort of in these middle platforms. So I think this is what our train station is going to end up looking like for the time being. We added a bunch of these cranes, and I don't think it looks too bad, but let me know what you guys think in the comments if you think I should change stuff, or if you have any asset recommendations that would look better in this area, let me know. But I think now we can continue to move on and continue connecting lines to this area. Now, one last thing I did forget to mention is I think I want to change this area here, since having this connection from our rail depot / maintenance area to these tracks is a little weird right here with this tunnel entrance. I think what I want to do is turn this set of tracks up here into a bridge and then just extend the valley underneath, just so we have a little bit more space to connect and transition all of this rail that we have coming through here. So we're probably gonna have to pause this and then delete some of this track so we can essentially dig out a valley before we replace these tracks with a bridge. So now that we've deleted all the tracks going underground, we can come in here to our terrain tools, grab the flatten tool, and then flatten out a good chunk of space. We'll want to include some of these tracks as well, so we'll make sure it's wide enough for all of those, and then we'll bring that back all the way to about here probably. So then the first thing we'll do is extend this out just a bit more straight out. So we'll bring that to here, and then I think we can still connect this up without having too rough of a curve right here. So we'll connect these up, and I think this is good to go once we just smoothly add this track back in. Alright, so we have our connection here. We can come through and make this a lot nicer in the future, but I think I'm happy with how this is carved out. Maybe just a little bit extra around the edges just in case, and then we'll come back through here and replace these tracks, and I think we'll go with this bridge here and just bring this across, and that's not looking too bad. So we'll clean up the edges of this valley that we dug out, and then we'll finally move on to connecting a few more lines. Alright, so this is probably blended about as well as I can do, so we can now finally leave this area and continue moving on with the other stuff we're going to do in this video. So again, we're going to connect up some more lines here, and I think what we're going to do is, I'm not sure we're going to bring in more resources in this video, but I do think we'll make more connections to cities, and I think the next logical one would probably be a road connection from our cargo hub across the river and right into Santa Clarita, since Santa Clarita requires fuel and tools, and I'm not sure it's currently receiving that. If we just click here on the city, yeah, it's not receiving tools or fuel at the moment, so I think having those as a sort of truck connection would make sense considering it's just across the river. So we're obviously going to be bringing these resources over by truck, and that'll involve bringing a road under here, probably. So I think a tunnel would make the most sense, since we don't really need this much height to build a bridge over on this side when this is almost level with the water. The issue, however, comes with how we want to bring it into the city. Now there's two ways I can think of us doing it. We could either run two separate lines from the cargo hub, for one for each resource directly to where it needs to go in Santa Clarita, or we could maybe do something similar to what we have over here by Jackson, have sort of a distribution center where resources from the cargo hub would come in to this truck station that's near to the city, and then from this secondary truck station, that's when the resources would get split onto their individual routes to where it needs to go into its respective city. Now, I'm not really opposed to doing that, as we could sort of use this area over here where our port is as sort of a light distribution center. The only issue I see with it is that there's not really much room for us to grow right here along this strip on the water, but I think we might try it out. We might be able to just fill in this lot or this lot instead and get a slightly larger truck station in there. But I think that might be how we do it, just so we don't have a million truck lines running in and out of this cargo hub. So first and foremost, let's get our road running out of the cargo hub here. And we'll bring that almost directly straight across and line it up to where we can cross the river in a pretty straight line. So I'm pretty happy with this. I think we'll stick with that. And then we'll turn this into a straight road and bring it straight across over here to where it snaps. And then we'll want to change the bridge type. So I think we'll go with this bridge. This one allows ships to still pass under. So I think we might bring this back just a little bit more. And then we'll get this right in a spot where we can get some pretty big openings for ships. So I think this might be the best configuration we'll get. So we'll just do that, and then we can change this back to a curved road and very gently bring it back down to the flat ground. So then now that we're on the ground, we can pretty much just follow these train tracks all the way until we reach back to the town. So I think this is going to be our connection for now, and we'll come through to upgrade this road. We'll upgrade this pretty much mostly through the city, and I think this is how we're going to leave the roads. There's still a lot of unupgraded roads, but we'll slowly upgrade those as we update the city. Now, I think we'll use one of these truck stations, the sort of base game truck station, since this other one, although it would fit nicely along the river here, we only have a maximum of 3 terminals, and we might need more of that later. So I think we're going to delete this road, and let's pause, and we'll pretty much claim this entire lot for our new truck station. So we'll come into here and place this down right about there. And then what we'll do is come in here, add some cargo platforms, and we can't really make these any bigger, so these will pretty much have to do. But we'll extend this a little bit more, and I think this amount of platforms will be good enough for us. So then we'll add some large cargo storage buildings, which I think will work just fine over here. And then we'll pretty much start detailing this area. So as usual, we'll pretty much just paint this area mostly just asphalt. And I think we'll leave a little bit of area over here for whatever buildings do end up getting built over this way. So then now that we have that, let's come through and flatten the terrain so everything inside of this lot is at the same level. So this works out just fine. And then next, I think we'll want to cover these cargo buildings with some nicer looking buildings. And so we got this building here to cover up the entire cargo buildings that were here before. So this looks like it fits in a bit more with the city. And now I think we can just pretty much fence off the lot, and that'll be all that we do in this area. So we'll come in, grab these fences, and we'll flip them to make sure they're going the right way. And then basically just follow the road around. Even though it is a curved road, that'll give us a few challenges. But we should still be able to do this pretty much without any issue at all. So we have this nice fenced off sort of distribution center area for the city of Santa Clarita. And let's just clean up the area, and then we'll be good to start getting some trucks running on this line. So after adding some final touches, I think we're finally ready to get this truck line set up. So we currently have tools and I believe fuel coming into the cargo hub, and that should be connected up to this truck station here. So all we'll need to do is find our truck depot. So we'll just click this road depot and we'll buy a couple of vehicles. And so this one can carry tools. Actually, what I think we'll do is, because of the somewhat limited amount of platforms we have at the cargo hub, we'll use this tarpaulin truck, which can carry any cargo, and we'll get significantly more. We'll get about 20 trucks, and we'll have a new line run from this truck station over to here. And what we can do then is, over here at the cargo hub, have it only load fuel and tools. And then we'll do the same thing over here, have it only unload fuel and tools. So then it'll grab whatever's most needed in the city at the moment and take it over to Santa Clarita. So then we'll bring this over and we'll set this on Terminal 5, something that makes a little bit of sense. And then it doesn't seem like we have a truck depot over here, but we have this one over by the tools factory. So first let's find out where the tools and fuel is needed. And it looks like we could probably keep using this truck stop here, but I think I do want to fix the roads in this area. Now there's some weird road stuff going on in this area, so we'll just simplify all of it. So we'll have this road connect here, and then we can bring these roads down and connect to this main road. So we'll have it come off straight off here, probably curve down a little bit, and then connect up there. Then we can just upgrade this all the way over to connect to that road. And the city's already trying to make connections, but we'll have this road come through like so. Have that road come in through here. And then probably this road connect over like that. So we did end up changing just a little bit of this since the city was still trying to make connections in here. Now, unfortunately, that did sort of get rid of almost all of the fuel and truck buildings that, or fuel and tools buildings that we had over here. But I think it'll recover and fill in since the city will need to replace those buildings anyway. So I think we're still good to continue on with bringing those goods over to this truck stop. So we'll come to this road depot and we'll grab some of these flatbed trucks for tools. I think we'll grab 5 of those and set those up on their line from in here to the truck station. And again, we'll set this so that we don't have any issues with our resources. And then we'll do the same with these tank trucks. We'll get 5 of those and have them going from here to this truck stop as well. So now all of those trucks should be on their way to their areas, and hopefully soon we'll begin to see resources pile up over here onto this platform. So let's just make sure that this cargo hub is getting all the resources it needs. So we'll make sure that the fuel line and the tool line that are supplying this area are upgraded enough to supply the city of Santa Clarita. And so starting off over here with the fuel refinery, it looks like it's keeping up with its production, as it's starting to recognize Santa Clarita as a consumer. So that looks like everything's fine. It looks like the boats are doing just fine and everything. I think it just might need time to bring the updated cargo over. And as for this tools factory, this one doesn't recognize Santa Clarita. Let's see if maybe this one over here does. This one's starting to recognize Santa Clarita as a consumer. So I think everything's good there, as this line that's going to the cargo hub only has a few tools waiting. Now, I do think maybe to help this out just a little bit, we should probably upgrade these roads and these trucks so that they're a little bit faster, especially since this is one of our first lines, this tool line. So let's come into our roads and begin to come through and upgrade all this to a faster highway. So now we have this whole set of roads upgraded. Let's come in and upgrade these horses. I didn't think we still had horses on the map, but it looks like we still have them over here. And these will want to be carrying logs. So let's go for this one, these flatbed trucks. And then over here at the sawmill, we'll grab all of these vehicles and upgrade these with probably these flatbed trucks, just for a little bit of variety. And then lastly, we'll also upgrade these machine trucks so that they're not slowing down our plank trucks. So we'll select a truck that has the same top speed, and we'll make it a little different, just so it adds some variety. But now, hopefully, after we upgrade this road, everything over here should be sorted out, and we should start to see a lot more goods coming to this port. So now we just had a boat come in with a load of fuel, and we can see that came right into this platform here, and we even have a little bit of tools. So that's good. These trucks, I don't think they can mix their resources, so they'll come by one and grab whatever is most available, and then they'll be taking those all the way over to Santa Clarita. So it does seem like we have a slow start, but we're finally getting resources coming in and out of this cargo hub, and we're currently using all three major modes of transportation. I don't think cargo planes are really worth it, so we probably won't ever use those in this playthrough. So this is probably all the modes of transportation we'll have here at this cargo hub, but I think this is a very exciting start to what could be a very busy and very large cargo hub in the future. So anyway, I think that is all that we're going to do in this video. So if you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. If you have any suggestions or feedback, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.